Hey, brothers and sisters, I just want to encourage y'all today and kind of get your brains going. You know, God said he didn't give you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I want to focus on that sound mind part, that reasonableness. See, God's gifted man with wisdom. He says, ask. He gives liberally, he gives freely to those who ask, right? So, no matter where you're at in your life, if you consider yourself a fool, which I hope not, but there are seasons where, man, I know I look back and I'm like, what am I doing? What was I doing? I even do that to this day. So, a lot of people will meet me and say you're this and that. And sometimes I'm like, what was I thinking? You know, Nevertheless, I say that out of an aspect of just knowing, like, sometimes you're like, what am I doing? What was I doing? What was I thinking? But you leave that behind, but yet you still remember that to where it kind of stirs up an urgency of, I'm going to start asking for wisdom in my life because I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be that foolish again. I want to have wise counsel around me so I can prevent being in circumstances and or situations like that again. So you ask for wisdom. You ask for understanding. You should do this on your own every day. The more, the merrier. I mean, why would you not ask abundantly? His wisdom is beyond is beyond like boxing in. There isn't like a treasure chest that gets filled up and it's like, oh, I can't afford it anymore. He says, above all things, seek for wisdom and understanding. Even if it costs all that you have, get wisdom and understanding. He says it's far more precious than gold, fine gold. Wisdom's mentioned as a her, and I don't want to get too deep into the her aspect of the spirits and everything, but it's really cool. I love going into it, but that's just another topic. I don't want to get sidetracked. Now, back to the sound mind, because the sound mind and wisdom go hand in hand. Your walk with God, man, is personal. You gotta get stirred up. Like, I'm here to try to stir you up because God says he won't put out a smoldering wick. It's like a candle, like, it's barely making it. The flame is so low, it's so dim, and it's like, God's not going to put it out. A bruised reed, like a stick barely hanging on, it's about to be broken. It's like, he's not going to send the wind that's just going to absolutely obliterate the thing. He's going to strengthen you up, bind your wounds. By his stripes you are healed. He's going to strengthen you up, get you right before he sends the next storm or whatnot. Why does he send the storm? To help strengthen you, actually. Resistance training. Okay, nevertheless, I want to encourage y'all because the times are here where there's so many seducing spirits and temptations and concepts going around that if you're not mature in your faith and you're naive and gullible, you will be deceived. And not deceived in a shallow way, but in the most monumental ways of destruction. And you're like, whoa, this sounds kind of serious, kind of scary. Well, I mean, it is, right? Shortcomings happen all the time. People die every day. War goes on. Theft, robbery, murder. And we kind of just fairy tale it all and just be like, oh, well, yeah, I'll be all right. I think we're just closing our eyes to a lot of things that are going on. I mean, take the debt crisis, right? I'm not big about politics, but I'm very aware about a lot of it. And I don't say I'm not big about it as in I don't get into it. I try to keep my eyes and ears open about a lot of things, but I say this on the most understandable level of regardless where you stand in any aspect of politics. The U.S. is in massive financial debt, and we've been in it for a long time. How does that happen? And how is it that we closed our eyes to even get to that point and then to get into trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt? That's what I'm talking about. Somehow we just closed our eyes to some sort of downhill structure that was built to allow it to get to being so bad. And then when we even started getting into the first trillion, we didn't pivot. We didn't realize, oh, we're $1 trillion in debt. We should do something. No. We just continued on. That's what sheep do. That's what it's like when it's saying you regard as sheep sent to the slaughter. You're in a line of 100 sheep and 10 sheep before you went in, and you heard a scream right at the end, and then you looked over to see where they went in the line. They went in this room, and you heard a scream briefly or whatever, and you don't see them come out. And then you see Bob go in front of you. Then you see Sam, and then Sarah, and you just don't think twice about it. You just keep following along, just like the rest of them. And it's interesting because there's a verse in the Bible that many people don't say anymore. They don't think about it. But when I say it, you're like, oh man, the blind leading the blind. Why is that not something mentioned in today's time anymore? That verse used to be mentioned so much back in the day. You don't even hear that anymore. It's almost like even that verse has gotten blinded from everybody to even know, because that one verse alone can just break through shackles and veils instantly when you realize, hold on, and you just ponder that verse, the blind leading, meaning follow me, bold in their position of leadership. Follow me. I will take you. I will show you. Leading someone else that's just as blind. It's quite interesting. You know, back to the financial aspect. Somebody had to have been like that in the financial advisory areas. And you got massive amounts of men, and you got grandpas who've been in the economy and economics and knowing how to handle things. How did this happen? You realize once you kind of mature a little bit, this didn't happen by mistake. So, I say all these things just to give examples of there's an enemy who's meticulous, intelligent, and calculated in deceiving you. Going all the way back to what I want to start the video on is you personally asking for wisdom, understanding, and a sound mind, because you're going to need that in order to discern where you should go, what you should do, who you should follow, and who is the voice of the Lord, and where. Because when the times get dark and you're the sheep and you hear all these voices, you're going to need to know the shepherd's voice. Because he says when the shepherd got struck, the sheep scattered. So what happens when you don't no longer have those other sheep around you to tell you, oh, go this way? What happens when the shepherd that you were banking on abandons the sheep? What happens when that happens? He talks about that too. False shepherds, who in the tribulations and trials and persecutions come, they abandon the sheep. So now your sheep have abandoned you and your shepherds have abandoned you. Now it's just you. Do you think your personal relationship with the Most High is strong enough and built enough and firm enough, and you have a clarity and communication to be able to hear Him, that if it's in the middle of the night and there's a voice said, and it's calling your name specifically, you'll be able to discern? On the contrast, there's another voice, exact opposite direction, calling your name as well. Both voices saying your name. Do you think you know the shepherd's voice clear enough to realize, no, that's not my shepherd though. Yeah, you know my name, but that's not my shepherd. I'm not going. As to knowing the true shepherd's voice, even in the darkness. What do you think he means when he says you will walk through the valley of the shadow of death? But fear not, for my rod and my staff will come for you. Because he's the shepherd. He's going to bring you through dark spots. It's going to be crunch time. In a valley, it is narrow, meaning 1 by 1, maybe 2 by 2. Maybe you got your husband. Maybe you got your wife. Maybe. Nevertheless, you're going to need to be tuned in to His Holy Spirit to have known Him. And that's going to be something nobody else can do for you. When God asks you on that day, nobody's going to be able to bail you out. It's just you and Him. So I just want to encourage y'all back to that intimacy. First and foremost, before anything and everything, your first love. Build your relationship with Him personally, intimately, today. Don't wait. Don't think someone else is going to do it for you. You are you. You have to answer for you and you alone. And that's all you will answer for. Pray to Him. God bless.